Stories, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey everybody, Rock here. Last video I promised that I would talk to you guys about the event that would kind of set me back into depression and anxiety, but also would prompt me and my wife to really start developing ourselves. So it was kind of like a it was kind of like something that was a blessing in disguise is what I want to say. So at this point, my wife and I are living in Kingston, Ontario, and we have been for a couple of years. My daughter is a couple of years old, and we have the habit of going up north during the summer for a week. And the reason we're doing this is because we have two separate family tournaments, ball tournaments, softball. So one tournament on my mom's side is on the one weekend, August long weekend, and then the other one in Noelville, which is on my dad's side, is the weekend after. So we have an habitual, a yearly tradition of taking the year off, and what we do is we play the tournament first weekend, and then during the week we go visit friends, and then the following weekend we go to Noelville and play in my dad's tournament. So we're at my buddy's place, and my wife has gone to the grocery store, and when she comes back, she says, "I have to talk to you. I bumped into..." I'm not going to use any names because I haven't asked for permission, so I'm not going to mention any names. But basically what I'll say is that she bumped into a woman who was married to one of my father's connections from Elliott Lake. My father met this man when he was a boy, and I will leave it like that. I will leave it like that's as much as I'm going to give you. She says that my wife says, "I have to talk to you about so and so because they're separated," and the story basically was that at his 40th birthday party, this connection of my father's, my father and my mother were sleeping there, and it was late at night, and this woman was in the house. My mother was asleep. She was preparing a meal for my father and this person, and went outside at the fire, which my father and this person, they were alone, and my father was basically doing a sexual deed on this person, to this person, on this person, to this person. And as you can imagine, the shit hit the fan there, right? Which led to their marriage breaking up. Even if they had their own issues, I'm sure that did not help. And when my wife told me this, I was like, okay. I'm scheduled to go see my parents the following day. Now I'm already thinking about how, like, it's a shock to me to find out, again, years later, that another person, and I confronted this person, and I asked them if it was true, and this person was very, I guess, diplomatic, and diplomatic is the word I want to use, or protective maybe, of my father, because he mentioned that it started when he was 18 years old, which I find convenient, considering he met him when he was 12, but it could be the truth. Anyways, so I contact my mom, and I call her on the phone. I say, what's the deal with this? You know, what happened? And my mother proceeded by saying, well, you know, she's a liar, she's making it up. And I'm like, really? How would she know to make something up like that, not knowing our past? She just didn't know about us and my dad being imprisoned and whatnot. She didn't know that. So why would she make that up? Or first of all, how would she make that up? How would she know it was exactly what had happened to me, in a sense, you know? And also, why would she make that up? So I proceeded by deciding to disconnect with my parents in that moment. I said, I can't go and see you guys. And my mother's response was, well, you're going to stop me from seeing your daughter? I'm like, well, no, actually, you're going to stop yourself from seeing my daughter because of your choices. I can't trust you. If you're willingly open to lying to me right in front of my face or over the phone, then what's going to stop you from lying when dad or my father abuses my child? If that would ever have happened. It didn't happen because we disconnected. So I said, I can't trust you. I'm not going. So we didn't go. And I said, I don't know when I'm going to see you next. And I think it was about 3-4 years. Well, as you can imagine, this set me to depression land in my mind, in my soul. I was brought back to where I was in high school. I was super depressed, super anxious. I had to take time off work. I was really in a dark space, to be honest. Dark space for a couple of reasons. Because it brought me back. Because I thought it was over. I thought my father had worked out his own demons. But as an alcoholic struggles to not reach for the bottle, I guess my father had his own difficulties for not reaching for his bottle, metaphorically speaking. And I mean, I don't even know if my dad is still affected by that. I don't know. I don't ask. So anyways, we're disconnected for, well, it's not that I don't ask. I'll get to that in a second. So we're disconnected for about 3 years, 4 years. My wife and I realized that we need to make changes. We need to step up our game because we are headed down a path of mediocrity and also a bit of self-destruction, toxicity, excessive drinking and stuff like that. And we had a child and it was time to shed that old skin. So we did. We attended seminars and read books and really got ourselves to a point where we were doing a lot better. We were free from that, I guess. But with that, you disconnect from your parents and your brother you're living in the same town as your brother and you're trying to keep a relationship with him and his family. But, there's a bit of a wedge there, because they're doing Christmas together, they're doing Easter together, and we're not. We might go see my brother during Christmas, but not when my parents are there. Just created a whole bunch of unwanted hardship, I guess. Even though it was, like I said, it was a blessing in disguise. It actually prompted me into making a whole bunch of videos. But I didn't talk about my life then. I don't think. I just talked about things to help people, like motivational stuff and whatnot. I became a life coach because of that. I started helping people at work on a deeper level. And then one day I was like, well, I am practicing or I'm preaching all this stuff to people and how to better themselves. And I felt like the next logical step would be to rekindle or repair that relationship. So I thought, right? But I wanted something different. And they didn't want to give it to me. But I decided to reconnect anyways. Which kind of led me down a different path. It led me down a path of not taking care of myself as much as I used to. Not pursuing any growth. I'm not blaming them. Like I said before, I'm a grown man. But it's when you when you put yourself in a toxic situation, eventually you become toxic. So I started repeating old habits, drinking a bit more, stuff like that, and being more mean, being more angry. And this was like up until like maybe 4 weeks ago. I decided that I was going to change again, that I was going to catapult myself into another level of growth. And making these videos has helped a lot. Your comments have helped a lot. And you'll never know like how one comment, a positive comment, can affect somebody. Well, I'm telling you, it affects me in a good way, big time. Your support and your love, and it fuels me. It just keeps fueling me to want to help more people. So I appreciate that. Now, when I reconnected with my parents, I said to them, I think we need to have a heart-to-heart. We need to sit down as a family and talk about this. We'd never done that before. It was just under the carpet, business as usual. I mean, I guess they are quite content into a life where everything seems good as long as we don't have to talk about it. But like I said before, I'm pretty transparent. And if I don't talk about it, I start self-sabotaging myself without even knowing. I'll drink more. I'll skip a day at the gym. I won't be productive in my growth. I'll just be negative and watch crappy content on YouTube just to continue to fuel that negativity and that, like, you know, you're stewing in your own misery, right? And I don't want that anymore. I want a better life for me. I want a better life for my wife. And I want a better life for my daughter. So I can't do that. So I'm not saying I'm disconnecting from them. I'm not saying that. In fact, I will never re-disconnect from them. I will never do that again. I can keep my distance, but I will never disconnect from them. You can keep your distance, that's all. I'll keep my distance and watch from afar, see how it develops. But I feel that for us as a family to move forward, the only way we will do that as a family, my mother, my father, my brother, and I, and our wives, the only way we can truly move forward is to have a heart-to-heart. And maybe my brother doesn't have to be there, but I would like I would like to see that happen. But it's not going to happen. This is something I want. They, as far as I know, don't want that. Because my father will say stuff like, I've done my time. And my mother will say, your father's done his time. We've moved forward. It's time for you to get over it. Or to let it go. And as much as there's truth to that, it's hard to let go when there's unresolved issues. But I'll leave it there for now. Next video, I will talk about what's next, or I'll actually know. The next video will be a wrap-up, my final thoughts around all of this. And then that'll be it for that. So again, I appreciate all the support. I love you guys. Share this video. It could help someone in need. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.